Hello everybody and welcome to episode 37 of Ebrius SMP. In the last episode we finished off the storage system for the mob farm. And I did a bit of an AFK session and we have lots of bones now here and lots of string, which I already transferred over. I'm not necessarily going to go there to show you guys because it was like 2 rows and a half of a chest in shulker boxes per se. But I noticed something when I was unloading shulker boxes over here that it double triggered, and so I tore it down and I found another solution that I think will fit in this space. I'm going to try and install it now, and we still have a little bit of a backlog of items there. And maybe even try and figure out something better for unloading this chest. I don't know if I can fit more minecart hoppers, because the way I have the chest set up, what I would need is a chest in the middle here that would distribute into like multiple chests to just have it unload fast enough. But I think if I fix this shulker box unloader, I'm just gonna start unloading shulker boxes and fill this like chest when I get back with something or from a project just with shulker boxes, and they'll unload over time. I don't really need it to be super duper fast because the system is made in such a way that it doesn't break if I leave, because items are based on a water stream and up to there for the bulk storage, and the multi-item sorter doesn't break when I leave, which is really nice. So yeah, let me get on with installing the unloader for this, and I will show it to you when I have it built. Okay, I installed the little contraption and it's really smart. The only like downside I would say that is it keeps a shulker box here, but as soon as a new one comes in, it gets immediately dispensed because it detects from the dispenser. The dispenser is right here. You can see it. And it powers this comparator, which turns off this torch, which in turn turns off the piston, which has, if I can run around it, which has an observer here, which powers this redstone repeater and powers the block, powers the piston, which breaks the shulker box. And then it detects the shulker box if it has items. It powers the piston again. And also when the piston breaks, the observer detects if the hopper is powered or unpowered, and it sends a pulse through here. And when the observer is in the up state, it triggers this repeater, which triggers the piston again. So I can actually go get some shulker boxes. I'll go get them right now. Okay, I got them here. I have 3 shulker boxes that have some items in, like 16 iron, and then 2 that are empty. So I'm gonna put in the first one full, then the second one empty, and then the rest just randomly. So you can see it's gonna be emptied, broken. That's another full one. That's another full one. You're choosing all of the ones that I didn't want you to choose. And then an empty, and then the last one stays until a new one arrives, which is really nice. So yeah, I'm gonna see what we're gonna do next. I'm gonna maybe see if I have any little more like bug fixes or something, things that I want to have fixed or cleaned up or something like that. I haven't gone through my villager tinder in a while. The villagers just kept dying on this, or keep dying on this magma block. So for example, what we could hook up is a button that would trigger the breeder on and off by either moving the villager up top, that I have right here, to not be part of this village. Like we can push, I think, pistons with blocks to block the doors, to block the sky access basically, or we can move the villager out of range. Like I could have him on a rail and we can just power the rail, push him back like farther away so he doesn't detect the doors, and then push him back again. But that is one thing that we can do, which will be probably good, because then we prevent having love hearts all over the place because they're not going to be part of a village and not willing to breed. The other thing that we could do is set up an overflow for the carrots. So when we turn it off, the carrots are, for example, this block gets pushed up and they get pushed into lava or something, or maybe we retract a block somewhere and they just drop down in lava, something like that. So yeah, maybe I'll work on that, I think. So yeah, I'll be back in just a bit. Alrighty, I moved the villager up 1 block over here on the piston, and the doors are 4 blocks above the villagers. So when the villager is raised up, the village is detected and the villagers can breed. when the villager moves down, it takes around 60 seconds to detect that he is no longer part of the village and the village becomes invalid. And this was done or showed by Freolith, and I will link the video to where he showed it in the description. But what I want to do next, instead of having a button to turn it on and off, I want to have the system be a bit smarter. I want to remove this magma block, basically. Or maybe still leave it, because you might get a few villagers after, like, you turn the villager breeder off. There's going to be babies there that are growing up, so we can leave the magma block there. But I want to detect when this redstone torch turns off, or maybe from that observer even, we can detect it. Actually, no, when this turns off, we want to turn the breeder off, and when basically and when the torch turns on again, the breeder is going to turn on again. So we just need to take the signal from here and transport it all the way up to over there. So I'm going to figure out how to do that, and I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, so what I did here, I didn't go off the torch because I need to trigger it from this first redstone dot, or basically this redstone torch turning on. So I went down here and I have a little bit of a rail line with a redstone dust that when this torch turns on, which is connected up to that torch, there's a redstone dust, a repeater, and the dust there. So it's gonna trigger and it's gonna update this observer up top. And then we update this entire observer line. It goes up to the top here, updates this line, and also the same on the other side. And then it's going to power this redstone dust, which is going to pulse this redstone block downwards. It's going to push the ice over the cactus, and the carrots can continue going on and keeping the villagers nice and fed to keep on breeding. And I have this little cool thing. I have floating sand. I can show you in a second how to do that. I also have some gold that I'm going to do something with in a little bit. But let me go get the things to show you how to get floating sand. Okay, so what you need is you need to place a 2 tall flower of any type, and then you can place the sand on top, and then do whatever you want with the sand right now, like give it any block updates on the side. But when you break this plant, it's gonna stay floating. And as soon as you give it a block update, it's gonna fall, which is really cool. So yeah, you know how to do that now, and enjoy it in any way you want. These 3 can despawn. What I want to go do next is I took some rotten flesh from my mob farm and I took it over to the our main gold farm, because we have a cleric over there that people trade rotten flesh with, and I want to install a little bit of a basically a shulker box unloader to have next to here, so I can load in the rotten flesh that I have here, and people can then take the shulker boxes out, or sorry, not the shulker boxes. They can take items specifically from the shulker boxes and trade with the villagers. So I'm gonna go install that now, and I'll be back very shortly. Alrighty, I got it installed. It is pretty simple here. We have a yellow shulker box here to toss in your items when you want to do some trading. And you can input full boxes of rotten flesh here, and the empty boxes should come out here. There's always going to be one stuck in the hopper, so the first one that breaks is not going to be in the chest, but that's fine. And then back here we just have a comparator detecting the shulker box through this block, and then it's powering these 2 pistons. The top one goes into a 2-tick repeater that is behind this slab right here. You can see it right there. And it powers that piston, so it pushes down and up to break the shulker box. And this one powers this repeater on 2 ticks that powers this block that has a redstone torch right there, you can see, which is powering the hopper so the shulker box doesn't get emptied. So when we take all the items out, the shulker box is going to break and the new one is going to get dispensed. I added a little lamp here that it's going to turn on and off when the shulker box gets replaced, otherwise it's gonna stay on, so it's fine. And then we have little Jonas here, Jonas, which is really cool. So yeah, does that fire out? Does this need fixing? Get me up there. Yeah, the fire is out. Who put out the fire? Okay, let me relight that fire, and then we're gonna head to the base and continue with some odd jobs around it. Okay, what I did here is I moved just the dropper hopper tower up a couple of blocks. I didn't really move it out, and then instead of having the item filters on the left to take up most of the space, I have them on the right here, which I have enough space for, just barely basically. And if I need to put in some stairs and slabs for this block, I can just come in and replace the corresponding block with a stone brick or a mossy or something when that happens. And the items come up in this block, they get aligned by the cake, and then they just go around in a loop. And I have this observer here, but this guy doesn't move, and it only triggers when I trigger on the oak switch. So it shouldn't be a problem, it shouldn't cause any issues. And the items anyway get aligned on the edge here, and then they get aligned on this edge, so they don't really flow next to the observer there. So I think it should be fine. But yeah, that is fixed now. What I want to do next is I want to look at some of the projects that I have here still. We maybe want a cow farm somewhere for leather. We need a sheep farm. We need a farm for different dyes. I would need a cactus farm. We would need poppies, not really, because, well, we can have the rose bushes, so we have them here, but we have so many poppies at the iron golem that if I need red dye, I can just, like, I have enough red dye probably here to last me till we reset. But yeah, we have the netherwort farm that it still needs to do. I could probably input a fishing farm somewhere, but I don't really need it because I don't use it. What else do we need? Still have things for the villager things. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm gonna look at what I want to do, because the plan for putting the other farms, since this is the farming side, what I have here is this 5x5, and I have plans to do 2 staircases, or maybe these kind of item elevators, player elevators even, to go up and down to a space where I want to have, yeah, the chorus and the netherwort, and then the different dye farms. So I'm going to look at how I want to do that and what I want to do next, and I'm going to be back in just a little bit. Okay, I decided what I want to do next. I want to, in between episodes, rebuild the furnace array. I don't want to spend another episode building it, so what I want to do here is just prepare for the furnace array a little bit. So we're gonna have the same kind of 5x5 thing that I have on the other side, like so. And then from that, we're gonna have the furnace array. So let me get some torches here so we don't get any creepers blowing me up. So we can build like this and go down a little bit, and then like so. I'm gonna run out of spruce wood. Like that. And then go up. And the rest would go here, but we don't have enough spruce wood. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build this and maybe decorate the walls here with texturize them or whatever. And we're gonna be ready for basically next episode to show you the furnace array when I build it in between. And we're probably gonna work on either maybe putting in the ceiling here. I'm not sure, because it's a large project and it's going to take me a while to design. But maybe we're going to tackle that thing at some point. But yeah, let me texturize this and build this little 5x5 thing and prepare for the furnace array, and I'll be back in just a little bit. All right, I got the walls over here done, and I also did the floor and the floor over here, and I basically copied the exact same thing that we have on the other side all the way up to here. And then this is where the furnace array is going to go. I'm still going to need to do some digging in the back because I need a bit more space. I might be crazy, but I could do a little bit of a humongous dig if I feel like it. I could dig this entire chunk away all the way over to that edge, but that's a bit of work. Maybe not. I'll see how much time I have and all that. But yeah, with that being said, I think this is going to be it for today. So I am hoping you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like button. Consider subscribing to see new videos. Leave me comments down below to let me know what you thought. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. When it went down, it was so hard to breathe.